everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Asking for It. Now, I kind of think it's interesting, right? So this waitress gets assaulted, and after going out with one of her friends or something like that, and she becomes friends with somebody else who introduces her to an all-female gang, probably gonna fight and rise up for themselves, right? Okay, right then and there, sounds good, right? I'm all for it. Kiersey, Clemons is in it. Vanessa Hudgens is in it. I say Hutchinson. Alexandra Shipp, that's the one I know. I know her too. Ezra Miller is in it, right? Luke Hemsworth. That's a Hemsworth, man. Okay, he might not be Thor, but he's related to Thor. And so, you know what I mean? Like, there's some people in it that we know. Here's the bad news. 3.5 on IMDb, but only 777 people rated it so far. 777, that's a good sign, right? It's not 6. That's a bad sign. So 3.5, I don't know. It's on Hulu. It's an hour and 41 minutes long. Can it be that bad? Can it be a 3.5? I don't know. Everything what I just told you does not sound like a 3.5 to me, but that's why you have me. Stick around. I'll catch you up, let you know what I think, and give you a better idea what the movie's about. So stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching Asking for It. We're at the 53-minute, 45-second mark. It looks like it's halfway, but there's actually 47 minutes, 37 seconds left, so a little over halfway. Anyway. So I get it now, why the scores are so low. Because it's a very pro-female film. So I have no issue with that. Essentially, oddly enough, Ezra Miller, who's had his own run-in with the laws, he, and it starts off like this, he starts his own movement of men first something. I don't know. It's all about being a man and, playing down women and all that kind of stuff. So, he's the leader of this group and has become, famous for everything. But essentially, just really putting down women and putting men first. Then there's our group of girls that we talked about before at the beginning, which is Alexandra Shipp and Vanessa Hudgens. So they're all the one girl. She was a waitress and she gets assaulted. Right? She runs into one of the other girls who take her to meet all the other girls, right? So there's like this big group of girls who are kind of out for themselves, right? Out for their own gender, essentially. So they have their own like bar and gathering and stuff like that, and they protect each other, right? So, I'll give you a quick example. They go to a gas station for whatever reason, and they're all hanging out, and some guy pulls in with his girlfriend and starts beating her up. And so these 4 girls jump in and beat him up, right? I mean, whatever. And, I mean, not whatever, but, that's great, I think, you know what I mean? And so, but then they are going out to now try and find Ezra Miller's character. Along the way, they're running into other opportunities to, right some wrongs that some other men are doing. That's what it's about. And it's definitely not a 3.5. If you can separate from I guess that kind of whatever opinion. There's not like really bad acting, really bad scenery or anything like that would really give you a 3.5. Luke Hemsworth plays like the sheriff in the town that they all live in, and he's trying to bring order, is really all it is. And I thought it was funny because I wanted to do a quick check-in, because I'm just going to go on record and say my opinion is Luke Hemsworth is not normally a smoker, and he's being asked to smoke in this role. It's just, that's one of the things that stands out to me is, and maybe he is, and maybe, his character doesn't know how to smoke, but it makes me laugh. But otherwise, there is another oddity that's going on. It's very flashy. What I mean by scene flashy and stuff like that, and they do a lot of different things where they'll talk about somebody, they'll show a tiger, you know what I mean? And it's like, and it's like a lot of that, which isn't bad. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But for some reason, my Hulu is now lagging, and it's buffering. So that combined, the flashing of scenes and the jumping around kind of stuff, and for the effect, along with the buffering, is making me angry. So I don't think that's anything wrong with the film itself, but for some reason it's doing this. So I gotta check my settings here. But otherwise, it's not a 3.5. It's definitely higher than a 3.5. So we'll see where it goes. Maybe it gets really bad here in the second half of the movie, and I'll come back and tell you. But right now, for the first 53 minutes, there's nothing there. It's a interesting movie. So stick around. We'll see where it goes. I'll be back. Alexa, cut. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Asking For It. There's actually some post-credit scenes happening right now. It seems like women speaking out. So I paused it so I could catch that. Just so that you know, if you watch this film, there is some extra stuff for you. But stand by. There was nothing in the second half of this film that made me think, oh my gosh, this should be a 3, a 4. There's really, I mean, again, people, I guess, look at I don't want to say politics of the film, but that's what they do. Because it's from a film, movie standpoint, plot, character, acting, cinematographer, free, the writing, the directing, the dialogue. It is not a 3.5. The subject matter, maybe some people see it as that. Me, I don't judge it by that. I thought it was a pretty good film. And here's some of the aspects that I like about it. I mean, I told you the plot line. I have no issue with the plot line, right? These girls are, rising up and defending themselves and taking matters into their own hands within the movies. And one other thing, Ezra Miller's little, I know I'm using his name, his character, I shouldn't say it, his character's, mafia or whatever, I forget what the other M stands for, but his group not only is, against women, but it's against races too. So it's just races. They are racist. It's just the white guys. It's so they stand against everything except for them. So I mean, like, that's just awful. Anyway, but so these girls are after him, and they're also finding other things that are going on that are wronging other people and doing something about it. And for the most part, yeah, I'm trying to think. There is, they although they take matters into their own hands, it's not like ridiculous. Like, I actually expected maybe a greater level of violence coming from them in this movie, and it's not that way. They're doing, there's some violence, and they're not. And the other thing is too, it's not like this group hates men, they just hate bad men, and maybe even bad women. That's not illustrated in this movie, but they catch up with this group of young men, and they live on their own instead of in a group home or something like that, and they stay with them and they hang out with them, and you know what I mean. It's not like, again, they're after bad people is ultimately the message here. So I don't know. Definitely not an awful film. Don't judge it by its number, I guess is the best way to say it. It's worth a watch. And, just, I don't know, enjoy it for what it was. I don't even know. There are some things that not a big thing. Like, I'm not sure what happened to Regina. What happens. I get it. I think I understand what they were trying to do, but whatever. It's not that big of a deal. One other thing too. I feel that there was more to this movie. Sometimes this happens. There's more that they don't give you because it got left on the cutting room floor. And to generalize what I'm talking about, I talked about that group that they all join, like the bar, and there's an Indian woman who seems like she's the head of it, and then another woman who's like second in command. She's a little bit more prominent, has somewhat of a relationship with Luke Helmsworth's character, but it's really underdeveloped, that piece. How does this group come into existence? Where are they from? How do they have significant roles within this group? And, you know, like that whole, they jump over that. I guarantee that they wrote that into this movie and it was just like, look, we don't got time for this. And so they cut that piece out. Because it stood out to me as a missing component to all of this. Did it ruin the movie? No. Could it have made it better? Possibly. Because you wanted to know more about that second in command woman, the one who has somewhat of a relationship. And I understand a relationship, don't get me wrong, I wasn't blind to everything. But there's not enough there for you to be invested in her and really appreciate her as a character. That's my thoughts. Otherwise, I think everybody else was fine. There was, you know, not everybody is completely, you know, the whole backstory isn't told. Drips and drabs here and there. But I didn't feel like it was missing that piece for the other characters, just for her, really, and that whole organization kind of stuff. So, anyway, but like an hour and, what did I say, 41 odd minutes, how much more time do you want to spend? It shouldn't be a 2-hour film. I'm not sure how they could have done it better, but that piece felt like it was missing, so. Whew, okay, I feel like I gave a lot. Check it out. It's worth the watch, unless you are on the Men First Mafia team. You might not enjoy this. So, that's it. That's all I got for you. Hopefully I was helpful. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.
Thank you.